I decided to use Google Docs because it's a web-based platform, which means that students can access the information from any computer. It doesn't matter if it's a Mac or PC. I learned about it last year, and it totally changed the time factor in my classroom. When we're doing a lab, for example, students will come up with a column of data, and they used to write it on the whiteboard. Then they would have to copy it from the whiteboard into their lab. And so it just took, it's like 10 minutes just to get kids to get organized and do all that. This way, they type it into their own personal column. It's saved automatically, which is wonderful. And then they can access this information at home when they're writing up their lab report. It's a great resource for kids to use.
All right, so again, we are going to do a graphic organizer. I have assigned everyone an organelle or a structure. You might have two organelle structures because they're really closely related and they really tie into each other, but I did separate them. What was the benefit of using Google Docs format?
So everyone could see it.
Everyone could see it. Anything else? Would you have wanted to make that entire PowerPoint by yourself? No, we divided up the labor.
Okay. The good thing about Google Docs is that once we presented it, we could all read it. Like each of us could read their slide.
Yeah, and we posted on the website, so it was a resource that you could use for the future or any other assignments. Okay. Cells Alive is a great resource for you to use. There's cell structure, there's cell diagrams. There's also the biology textbook online that you can resource that at chapter 4, like you did yesterday for when you were doing the cell coloring. So what we're going to do is I'm going to click on the cell graphic organizer. All right, so here we are. I'm Mrs. N, and I have nuclear pore. All right, across the top, we have who's doing what. We have the structure listed. We have the function, 10 words or less. Okay, so I want you to summarize. I don't want you cutting and pasting, and if there's a word up there that you don't know what it means, don't put it up here, because that means none of us know what it means. Put it into common people language. It stores information. It digests stuff inside the cell. Okay? Description, what does it look like? Okay? Is it found in animal cells, plant cells, or both? You can use your resource that you just made. Find an image, and then related vocabulary. So with the nuclear pore, nuclear envelope, nucleus, those are all things that are related to it. If you go back to my website again, there's links right on my website to some great resources. The Cells Alive is a great resource. When you go into Cells Alive, just click on the cell and then you'll get another cell picture and then it becomes interactive. There's a couple of other open resources on there as well. If you're really stuck, you could always go to the online textbook. But that would be a good picture. Remember when you're posting a picture, you have to use the image insert and then shrink it down so it's little. Which website do I not want you to use? Wikipedia, okay, because that's an open resource, and we're not always sure what the content is on there. We're not always sure how, because anyone can write on that, right? Okay.
We can look at trends across, because you can do an average, because you can do spreadsheets, you can do all the sort of Microsoft, sort of the Office programs. You can also do this in Google Docs. And so we can use that, we can look at trends in data, we can compare and contrast different organelles like we did today, we can see what they did. We can create group PowerPoints where each student is responsible for one slide. And so it's contributing to the whole, which I think students feel sort of empowered by, that their contribution is there. Plus it goes up onto the website and they get into being publicized. By working in a Google Docs platform, if their slide is blank or their column is blank, I see those kids after school go, Ms. Nichols, I saw that my thing was blank. Can I make that up? Because they know that the whole team is depending on them, and it puts the responsibility back on the student, and this generation is on the web and they want to be in that community.